Hey, what's going on guys, it's Eximinous here, and today me and Ben are going to be counting down our predictions for the 2016-17 Premier League season.
The first week of Premier League fixtures have come and gone, so that's what we're going to be basing our predictions off, as well as the transfer market.
So as you can see, to the left of me are going to be all of my predictions, and to the right of Ben are going to be all of his predictions, and for me, coming at number 20 at the bottom of the league, are going to be Burnley. So for me, the reason why I'm putting Burnley right at the bottom of the league is simply they don't have a strong enough squad. They've got really bad squad depth, just like Hull, but I don't think that manager is really up for the Premier League. I think he's done it a couple of times before and he just got a team relegated. And especially after the first week of using 1-0, I believe it was to Swansea, really don't think they're going to be up for it. They haven't done too much in the transfer window. If anything, they lost more players than they've bought. So really, I don't think they've got a strong enough squad and enough squad depth to be able to stay in the Premier League.
So in 20th, coming bottom of the table, I have also put Burnley, for pretty much the same reasons as Jack. I feel like their manager, although he has had a few years of Premier League experience before, I don't feel that their squad is good enough. Like, the best player is Tom Heaton, who is a goalkeeper, so he can't really affect much of the squad, and their problem is probably just not scoring enough goals. They've got a striker called Gray, who I believe did quite well in the Championship, but he has never proved himself in the Premier League before, so that's why I've put Burnley bottom of the table.
Now, no surprise here, I'm also putting Hull in the relegation spot at 19th place, and they've got 13 players, what I meant to say. Now, after the first week of fixtures, they did come out right at the park and beat Leicester 2-1 at home, so that really did surprise pretty much everyone. However, with 13 players, I don't think they're going to last too long, really, at this kind of good form. Although Leicester, I believe they were on top of Hull, they kind of just got a bit lucky. So even then, they just got lucky to win the first game, and with 13 players, I really don't think they're going to last too long at their best.
In 19th place, I've also put Hull, as I think that with only 13 senior fit players currently and no real manager, they only have somebody in as caretaker, they can't continue on for the rest of the league. Although they did beat Leicester 2-1 and they did play fairly well, it could just be a fluke. Who knows, we'll have to see.
And at number 18, I'm going to put Crystal Palace. And to be honest, looking at everyone else, no one's actually predicting they're going to go down. But for me, they've had pretty much, I think they've actually had the worst form in 2016. So, and losing in the first week as well as not having a lot of signings, I mean, there's no hope for them, I think. I mean, they did sign Andros Townsend for a lot of money, but the Newcastle, they bought him in January, thinking he'll help them, save them from the drop, but that didn't work. I don't think he's a good enough player to stop players from going down, so that's the reason why I put him at 18th.
So changing it up a bit, in 18th I've put Swansea City. They've lost Ashley Williams as well as Bafétimbi Gomes, who scored so many goals for them. Although they have signed Fernando Llorente, I believe, to up front from Sevilla, I don't think he's going to be enough to keep them up. As well as they also have Sigurdsson, but I think their defence is really going to let them down this season, and that's why I'm putting them in 18th.
Right, so at 17th place in the league, I'm going to be putting Bournemouth, and really, there's not much to it. I don't think they've got a strong enough squad, especially as they've just lost Matt Ritchie, I believe, to Newcastle.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think Newcastle. And, you know, the fact he's gone to the Championship is a very weird choice. But Matt Ritchie, he was a fantastic player for them last year. So it's a massive kind of gap they're missing. They've tried to fill it in with Ibe, but I don't think he's good enough to replace Matt Ritchie. And to me, they just don't have a strong enough squad.
In 17th place, just surviving the drop, I've put Crystal Palace. For me, they have a good manager in Alan Pardew, but they have just lost Balassi, who's probably their best player, to Everton, and they don't really have a great striker who can score them goals. They have Connor Wickham, but I don't think he's good enough. But I do think they will just about stay up in the Premier League.
And at number 16, I'm going to be putting Sunderland, and the fact they've got David Moyes is really good, but the fact Sam Allardyce has left them to go to become an England manager really kind of, it's left a massive gap. Sam Allardyce is renowned for being an amazing manager, making teams avoid the drop, and I don't think David Moyes is really good enough. He hasn't got enough Premier League experience. He managed Everton really well, and Man United is terrible, obviously. At Real Sociedad, he was also terrible, so he hasn't had a good track record recently, and I don't think he's just going to be good enough to avoid the drop.
In 16th place, I've put Middlesbrough. They've made some good signings such as Negredo and Victor Valdez. However, I don't think they'll have the best season, but I do think they will stay up and should survive.
At number 15, I'm going to be putting Swansea, and the fact they've gotten rid of players like Ashley Williams and Gomes, like Ben said earlier, I don't think they've got a strong enough squad. I mean, 15th isn't too bad, obviously they're avoiding a drop by a few positions now, but really a team like Swansea should be pushing for like mid-table finish, and I don't think the manager's that good. I don't know his name, but I'm not too sure. But I don't think they're going to have that strong of a season. They're going to finish 15th.
Now, for me, in 15th place, I've put Sunderland. I feel like David Moyes could do a good job there, but the main reason they will safely survive is Jermaine Defoe. In every club he's played at, he's scored so many goals, and the last 2 seasons, last season even, he's kept them up pretty much on his own. Signings such as Paddy McNair and Adnan Januzaj are just going to sort of strengthen the squad a little bit, and that's why I think they'll finish 15th.
And at 14th place, I'm going to be putting Middlesbrough, and the experience they've got in the Grado, Brad Guzan and Victor Valdez, I think they're going to really kind of carry the team forward. 2 very good goalkeepers and a striker who's got Premier League experience with Man City and a lot of experience as being a strong striker, I guess. I think they're going to carry the team. They're going to have a strong finish at 14th.
In 14th, having a decent season after AFC Bournemouth. They signed some new players such as Ibe, but they have lost one of their best players, Matt Ritchie, to Newcastle. So I think they'll safely survive the drop, and the manager Eddie Howe is quite good. He's got obviously a year of Premier League experience now, and I think they'll survive comfortably.
And at 13th, I'm going to go ahead and put Watford in there. Basically just call them FIFA Watford now. They are all they do is just sign FIFA players who are sweaty on FIFA. But the fact they've kept Troy Deeney, they've signed loads of other players. I forgot their names, but they're just really pacey. And I think they're just going to be good enough to survive a drop and get a good finish at 13th. I can actually see Watford becoming a good Premier League squad in the next few years as well.
In 13th, I've also put Watford. They managed to hold on to their 2 best strikers, Deeney and Igalo, despite Leicester bidding, I think, 30 million for Deeney and a £40 million bid from China for Igalo. They've kept hold of them, and that's why I think they're going to do quite well this season. They have got a new manager, however, who I'm not sure if he has any experience or not, but I think they will still comfortably survive the drop.
And at number 12, we're getting towards mid-table here, and I'm putting West Brom. And to me, Tony Pulis is an absolutely fantastic manager. He always does a job, I guess, and he's going to put West Brom in a good 12th position. I think that's really what they want, West Brom. They kind of want a good mid-table finish of this season, good kind of Premier League solidarity. Is that the word?
Solidarity.
Yeah, solidarity. And I think 12 is just going to be a good position for them. They've signed a good few players. They've done good. They had a good transfer window, and yeah, they're going to do well and finish at 12th.
In 12th, I've also put West Brom. The manager, Tony Pulis, is a brilliant manager. And as long as they can keep hold of Saido Berahino, I think they can do really well this season.
And at number 11, I've got Ronald Koeman's side, Everton. And after losing Stones to West City, to Man City even, I really think that they've got a massive gap in defence. I mean, they signed Ashley Williams, who is a very good defender, but John Stones, especially with the potential he has, I really think that's a massive loss. And yeah, I don't think they're going to do well in defence. I mean, Koeman is a manager who specialises in defence, and so maybe I'll be completely wrong. I'm just predicting they're not going to have a strong season, even worse than last season, and they're going to finish 11th.
In 11th, having another decent season, I put Stoke City. Last 3 years, they finished 11th, and they've got some good players like Arnautovic, Shaqiri, and Joe Allen now as well. And I think that they'll do well. Mark Hughes is quite a good manager, so I think they'll just finish mid-table.
10th position, I'm only putting Southampton, and to be honest, I think they've bitten off a little bit more than they can chew. And after getting rid of so many strong players, Mane, Fonte is rumoured to be leaving as well to Manchester United. I think really they're going to have a really difficult season, especially in squad depth as well.
In 10th, I put Ronald Koeman's Everton. He left Southampton just for the money at Everton, which he could spend, but I don't feel he's utilised it well. He's lost John Stones to Man City, and all he's bought is Balassi and Ashley Williams really to replace him, as well as Stecklenburg and is it Idrissa Gueye from Aston Villa. Also, the season could depend on it whether Lukaku stays or goes. It looks at the moment like he's going to be staying because nobody wants to pay the ridiculous fee they're asking for. However, I think they're just going to finish straight in the middle of the table.
And at 9th position, I'm going to be putting West Ham, and I really don't think they're as good as everyone says they are. I mean, Payet really, imagine if Payet wasn't there, imagine if he didn't have a good season last year. I don't think they would have been as high as they were, and I don't think he's going to have a good season this one, to be honest. He might have been a bit of a one-season wonder. Come at me if you want, I really don't care.
In 9th, I put the former champions, Leicester City. After losing one of their most important players, Kante, they didn't look very good against Hull at the weekend. They didn't look together. And I don't feel that with the Champions League as well, they have enough squad depth to really get into a high position again. However, they could still do well in the Champions League. And they've managed to keep Mahrez and Vardy, who have both signed new contracts. And yeah, I think they're just going to finish 9th in the table.
And I'm going to one-up Ben by saying that Leicester are going to come in 8th in the league. And like he just said, losing Kante, really, Mahrez, I mean, he's just on a new deal saying that, so I was going to say that he's going to go, but he's going to stay now by the looks of it. Vardy's going to stay. They've kept not so good players, but Kante is such an important player they've lost to Chelsea. And, like you said as well, the Champions League really going to test them in terms of squad depth, and I don't think they're going to do as well, especially after losing 2-1 against Hull. I don't want to kind of say the same thing again, but I don't predict they're going to have a good season.
In 8th, I've put my team, Southampton. This year we've sold Mane, Pella, Wanyama, all huge players in the squad. Replaced them with the likes of Redmond, who has done well in the first game scoring. But I don't think that we're going to do as well, especially with the Europa League to focus on. We do have a new manager, however, Claude Puel, who isn't Premier League proven, but he might do well.
Now, looking at my list, guys, you've probably noticed something. Where the hell is Stoke? And yes, I'm thinking about putting them at 7th. I mean, they've got Shaqiri, they've got Arnautovic, and I really do rate them really highly. After a good Euros, Shaqiri did kind of prove himself to me. I think he's a much better player than people think he is. Maybe he's had a bit of a rough start to the Premier League, but I think this year he's going to be really well. He's going to carry, as well as Arnautovic, going to carry them forward to being 7th in the league. And I don't know, I just see him having a really strong squad to go there at 7th place.
In 7th, I put West Ham. They've made some decent signings, the likes of Ayew coming in, as well as Feghouli. And Slaven Bilic has had a year in the Premier League now to adapt his squad, change it however he likes. And he should be used to it now. So that's why I think they're going to finish just outside of the Europa League spots. So we have realised that we've actually written down the exact same top 6. So we're just going to go through each team and sort of discussing our reasons why we've put them in this position.
So in 6th position, we've actually put Spurs, and to be honest, the reason why I've done it at least is because they've got such a young squad. They haven't done much in the transfer window. However, Pochettino, he's got lots of trust in his squad, so maybe they'll come through a lot better. But with a young squad like he's got, and maybe not as much experience, I don't think they're going to do too well. Also,
with the Champions League to focus on, I think that it'll slightly take away from their Premier League performances, but I do think they'll finish in a Europa League spot. In 5th, we've both put Arsenal. For me, they need a good striker. Giroud isn't good enough, and they need somebody that can score 20 plus goals a season, someone like Harry Kane or Aguero if they want to finish top of the league. Also, they always finish above Tottenham, so yeah.
I mean, they've got so many good midfielders, they just don't have a good striker, so that's all they need. If they get a good striker, they'll be guaranteed title contenders, but to me, without a good striker, 5th is the spot we're putting them at. And at 4th, we're putting my team, Chelsea. To be honest, I really do have a lot of trust in Conte. He's done so well at Juventus, did so well with Italy, and I really do think we have a good season. I mean, and with a Champions League to focus on, I really do think we're going to do well in the Premier League, and especially with the addition of Kante, we're going to have a really strong midfield. We've got so many strong midfielders there, and yeah, to be honest, I'm predicting a 4th place.
Also, from the first game and the end of last season, we've seen that some of Chelsea's players are coming back to the best. The likes of Eden Hazard and Diego Costa are going to be brilliant this season, I think, and that's why we've put them in a Champions League qualifying space. In 3rd place, we've put Liverpool. They have no European competition to focus on this year, and Jurgen Klopp has already had a year in the league to sort of
get experience on it.
Yeah, get experience with his squad, change the squad to how he wants it. And this summer even, he's brought in a lot of signings such as Mane, Matip from Schalke, Klavan, quite a lot of people, and they've all been performing well in pre-season. And they also smashed Arsenal 4-3 at the Emirates this week.
And I really do rate Klopp as a fantastic manager. He did really well with Dortmund. He's done really well with Liverpool so far, especially under Brendan Rodgers' squad. With the transfers he's got, I really do think that he's going to have a strong season. And at number 2, we've both agreed to go with Manchester City to be the runners-up of the Premier League. I mean, after just beating Sunderland in the first game of the season, I mean, Sunderland, you would have thought a team like them would be walking all over them. And especially under Guardiola as well. Maybe it's kind of given a few fans a little bit of a worry, the fact that maybe the signings they've got, they're great signings, but they're not really gelling, especially as Torre's moving to be leaving. That's a big kind of hole they're missing in the midfield. Nasri as well, rumoured to be leaving. I'm not sure they're going to be strong enough to beat Manchester United.
Also, I think that Pep Guardiola's tactics are going to take a while to adjust to. The way he brings the fullbacks into midfield when they're on the attack, and he expects the keeper to be sweeping behind the defence if the ball gets through. And that brings up the question whether Joe Hart will stay or not. He was benched at the weekend, and there's talks of Claudio Bravo signing, so we'll have to see.
Yeah.
before we say who we think won the Premier League, we brought in our expert footballer Duncan to announce who he thinks is going to win the league. So Duncan, who do you think is going to win the Premier League in 2016-17?
Oh, Porto.
Where's that?
Yeah.
Ronaldo.
So in first place for 2016-17, me and Jack have agreed that Manchester United are going to come top of the league. They've just brought in Jose Mourinho, who is a fantastic manager, and after their first game, they were playing some really exciting football. The signings of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Mkhitaryan, and even Paul Pogba, who hasn't actually played yet, are going to be massive, I think. And he's also, unlike Guardiola, he's kept the top core of the team. He's still got David De Gea in goal. He's got most of the defence there, players like Valencia, who you'd never think would stay in the squad, Daley Blind, and the midfield is pretty much the same as well.
Yeah. All he seems to have done is just strengthened each position, and watching Man United, they just seem like such a fun team to watch at the moment. I mean, without Pogba, he's just going to be dictating that midfield as better than anyone else can do in real life at the moment. I really do kind of rate them to become the best team in England this year. So that is it in today's video, guys, so make sure you do leave a like if you enjoyed it.
And if you agree or disagree with our predictions, leave yours in the comments below.
I'll see you guys later. See ya!
That's
No,
what some people
you
do, innit?
actually ruined that.
Some people do that. No, you can, Jack.
The Bovis.